Hello everyone, my name is Miro and welcome to a plant chores video. Hoya chores to be exact. I hope that you are doing well and I hope that you're having a nice, calm and relaxing time during the holidays. So today we will sort of upgrade the mix with some of my Hoyas. There will be some trellising, retrellising, some decisions to be made. I do want to repot a couple of small Hoyas that I got this year and put them on a trellis. But first, I wanted to show you some Hoyas in bloom. I also got some orchids, which I deeply regret because I thought they were like €5, but turns out I didn't see the price well. So I got 3 and they were 10. So, and I got 2 of the same for, because they're kind of small and I wanted to join them. If I known the price, I would never buy this because this is incredibly small and not very good looking. There is some damage here. This is Buragara Nelly Eiler. They sell it as Cambria Nelly Eiler. And yeah, this is, when I got this plant before, I think even bigger than this was €10. So I guess the price of orchid has gone up a little bit. And it's, this is damaged too here, but there is also some damage that is indicative of cold damage. So not the best choice here, but we will try to rescue them at one point. I think I will wait for them to be out of bloom and then to repot them. And then I got a Zygopetalum, which once again, super damaged. I would not have gotten this had I known this is €10. 2 of the flowers are damaged. There is 1 or 2 more coming. This one is a little bit better because there are several bulbs, pseudobulbs, but yeah, I wouldn't have gotten it, to be honest with you. But that's not what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you some Hoya in bloom. And this, of course, video, as always, will be chaptered. So if you want to get into the chores, or not into the chores, but like talk about the Hoya, you can skip forward, though I do not recommend it. Because again, I will be showing you Hoyas in bloom right away. So we have a couple of Hoyas that have bloomed for the first time in my collection. One of them is my Hoya EPC 1015. This is a cross with Hoya lambii and Hoya, I believe, Vitalina. I don't know why I didn't write the name of the cross, and I got this in August of 2022 from Betsy. This plant has been growing in pond and never attempted to bloom until I transferred it. And now she is blooming. The flowers are on their way out. They have been a little bit more reflexed. And unfortunately, despite the very nice big leaves that this Hoya has, the flower is not as impressive. I will think about keeping this one, but I may not. I think in order for me to keep this, she would have to grow a little bit better, a little bit nicer, because it's just not it. You will see this Hoya in another future video because we will talk about this repotting from pond, because I feel this has been a relatively successful transition. But anyway, the flower smells like ginger. It's very, Finlaysoni type flower, which probably means that the mother plant is Vitalina, but I'm not actually sure about this cross. I will have to look it up for a future video. It's nice. I do prefer the leaves in Hoya lambii, which we will get into because we will work with the actual Hoya lambii, not affinity lambii. But yeah, so-so. This is not the most exciting bloom. Another that is blooming for the first time is Hoya Species Flores Island UT039. I got this last year from Farah and in June of 2023. So she's grown really nicely. Great deal of red on those leaves. I adore it. I did cut it recently for a sale, but she's growing really, really well, and the flower is absolutely stunning. Don't know if we will be able to see all that well. There are 2 peduncles in bloom, and this Hoya sort of made me think about what types of Hoya I would like to grow, which is going to be the topic of this video. The flower, again, very, very lovely, photographs beautifully, which I adore. And even the leaves, everything just about this plant looks very good. This one is not in bloom for the first time, but it's, again, one of the Hoyas that makes me think about my growing. And this is Cutis porcellana, filled with buds. I was sort of hoping they would open all at the same time, because it did happen once, so I can take a nice reel showing you the entire plant. But I think some of the ones that have been opened are already closing. This is not fully open, but gorgeous plant, which needs to be transferred, I believe, away from pond. It needs to have several mite treatments, probably because she hasn't grown as much as she has bloomed recently. But this is just, I can't even count this high, how many peduncles there are. Seriously, absolutely lovely plant. There are several that kind of look really stunning in my collection like this when they bloom. They just decorate themselves like a Christmas tree, but like with flowers and honestly goals. Recently, I'm thinking these are the goals. And the last one, this is not blooming for the first time, but this plant bloomed for the first time when I went to France to visit Betsy, and the flowers were closed before I went. And I was hoping when I returned they would still be in bloom, but unfortunately the buds already fell off. So I didn't get to see it in flower, and I thought last year it would bloom, but it didn't. I think this is, for me at least, something that buds up in the winter. I don't know if for everyone this is a winter bloomer, but for me it sort of has been. And I'm talking about Hoya mirabilis. Now this plant is not very big. It is about 2.5 years old, and I did take some cuttings of this plant. It really should be bigger. It's in pure cocoa husk, and it doesn't get water enough. Last time this was watered was 2 weeks ago. And you know, we could do with maybe a little bit more watering. I also think it has dealt with mites. I sort of started this plant with one leaf or two leaves and one node cutting. So that's not maybe the biggest way to start off with your mirabilis, but absolutely stunning flower. I need to take photos of this, and I've detected some faint scent now, but it's just so pretty. And I will just show you quite a unique flower in my collection. I adore it. And I'm so happy to finally see it in bloom. It does stay again on my wall, which doesn't get tremendous amount of light, so I think, you know, it would probably do better in some different conditions, but I also don't mind. Like, not every Hoya can get the best condition in our collection. And, you know, I wouldn't say this is struggling, it's just not as ideal. And let's face it, in nature, conditions are also not always the most ideal. So that's fine. We are basically Mother Nature here. Now, the Hoyas that we will deal with today, I am quite afraid of one of them. I have been avoiding this for many, many months, but I think the time has come to deal with my Hoya lambii. It's, you know, the trellis is falling out of the pot. I need to change the mix. The mix is all sorts of wrong, old, stale, yucky. It's a nice Hoya now. It hasn't been always nice. This absolutely at all times needs to be in my grow tent. I tried it in my room, doesn't want to grow in my room, doesn't want to be trellised really, doesn't really want to be messed with, and now it's growing a new vine, which, you know, it's not the best time to be dealing with Hoya lambii, to be quite honest with you, but also at the same time, it's just never a good time to deal with Hoya lambii. It's really a Hoya that, in my opinion, is very, very difficult to grow. I know that some people, some of my patrons, grow it really well, but it's been a challenge, and I talked to a lot of people, and it has been a challenge for them too, so I think maybe climate dependent. I know Camilla grows her well, and this is from Camilla, but she also grows it in a greenhouse throughout the most of the year, I think from maybe April to October. So yeah, I just never saw much growth for this one in room conditions, in my room conditions, and maybe that was the way that I cared for it. But in any way, this Hoya will go back into the tent. I just really want to stabilize this trellis, put her in a self-watering pot with a different mix as well. I don't think that it needs a self-watering pot. It kind of did okay like this, but yeah. Gorgeous, gorgeous leaves. Gorgeous leaves on the front, on the back. Absolutely hard to get to bloom for me. It attempted several times and it dropped the flowers, the buds, probably a watering issue. I mean, can we tell why I'm trying to repot this today? I rooted this a long time ago in moss and bark. Roots are absolutely matted. I don't really know how we're gonna go about this. We will try, but yeah, I think this one we are gonna struggle a lot with, to be quite frank with you. And I don't even know if we will be able to sort of do a good job, because this top layer really matted. So maybe we take on that challenge first. Now, the next one I want to repot is something that's doing really well now. This is something fell. Who fell? What fell? What happened? Ghosts, stop it. I think what fell is my tripod for my light, which I'm not using now. I use it for my photography. Anyway, this one I got from a friend. She's been struggling with this plant for a very long time. This is species PNG SV432, perhaps. We don't have a tag, do we? No? I think that's the accession number on this one. It has bloomed, but only twice, and it wasn't very impressive. I don't even know if I have good photos of the flower, but I do think this is somewhat similar to Hoyas in the Nicholsoni section. It's not really a section, but you know, similar to those Hoya. But anyway, this she has struggled with for a couple of years, and it wasn't growing for her. It was only like a 2-leaf, 1-note cutting, and I said, please give it to me so I can grow it out. And I did. I mentioned this a couple of years ago, and I showed you the result back then. I probably will not be able to find that in my videos. Honestly, at this point, I think we're working with almost 300 videos on this channel. I really should stop. But this plant has grown really well for me, and then I took, I think, 1 cutting for myself, also like 1 node, 2 leaves, and we grew into that from that plant. So I would say this is about maybe 2 years worth of growth, and it hasn't always been successful growth. You know, we do make mistakes, we do underwater, we do get mites, we do attempt to trellis, which also this plant doesn't seem to really love me messing with it, but it's a gorgeous plant. And the reason why I wanted to work with it today is because I think we can do a little bit better with the trellising. I think we can do a little bit better in the mix. It's in a mix of cocoa peat and perlite, which is a fine mix for self-watering, but over time this mix becomes a little bit opposite of chunky. It really seems to settle quite a bit, and that's, I think, what happened here. So I would like to give her a fresh mix with a lot of bark and cocoa husk. So we will do that, and then I don't think we will repot her again. It is in a 15-centimeter pot, which is one of the biggest pots that I have. And just the stunningness of those leaves. So beautiful. They're looking really nice. She's a bit sticky. She had some mealybugs, but we took care of that. We will inspect her thoroughly though, just to make sure that they have not remained, but they should be gone. It seems that my treatment had worked, and if you are wondering, yes, it has been systemic. Because I'm absolutely done with alcohol and mealybugs at this present moment. And hopefully with implementing a more careful incorporation of new plants into my collection, we are never going to have to deal with that again. And I do mean to take things very seriously now, because this has been a year-long fight with mealybugs. So hopefully we can just do better this time around. But really lovely plant, quite big too. She's quite big. I do think also this is one of those plants that I intend to keep in my collection, which again we will talk about today. All of these are plants that I want to keep in my collection, aside perhaps of this EPC 1015. I am kind of struggling there because the leaves are big and nice, and I know they can get really nicely sun-stressed, but I don't know. I'm really not impressed with that flower, and I think we really need to start making some choices here. The next one is also one of my favorites. It's Hoya glabra from Uluapinapin, and This one, I am thinking about changing the trellis here. I don't think this is looking the best presented like this. I find it hard to trellis her. She also makes magnificent, magnificent flowers. Just very recently, I didn't take a photo because I didn't have time, but the most perfect ball of flowers that you will ever witness. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous Hoya. Absolutely want. If I want to grow something big-leaved, I'm not going to go for latifolia. I'm going to go for glabra because, first of all, huge leaves. Second of all, the back of this leaf is, I mean, girl, come on. No latifolia is as great as Hoya glabra. Flowers are the sexiest you will ever see. They smell nice. I just adore this plant. It is much, much, much better plant to grow than any, again, latifolia. This is going to turn into a latifolia shading video, isn't it? It's also in a need of a mix upgrade. Now, I really hope I don't see the roots coming out of the bottom. Let's check. No roots, no roots. Easy, 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 easy. Okay, not too bad. We can deal with that. Let's check this one. Once again, no roots, please, please, please. Okay, these have a bit of rot. She definitely drank all of the water. One good thing about this is they absolutely, I mean, maybe it's not a good thing because they definitely soak up all the water from the reservoir. This cocoa peat and perlite mix really soaks it up. The other mix that I use, bark and moss and cocoa husk, the intake of water is slower, which I don't think they mind, but when we are doing like a treatment with systemic, they soaked it all up. So those mealybugs are. And now we have a couple of small ones. This is my Hoya Isabel Chennai. And I think I would like to get this on the trellis. I don't know how we're going to do this. I will try to get these roots out safely. I would like to see this on a trellis. I would love to see this blooming. This can also grow hanging, but I think a trellis will be a great solution for her. And then we have a Hoya megalantha. Both I got at the same time in Sweden in March of this year. And I haven't done a great job at growing these, to be quite honest. They should be much bigger, but here we are. This one also, some roots there. This is current megalantha, former devoensis. Should be much bigger. This should grow like a weed. Why hasn't it? Well, because I haven't been watering it, of course. That's the issue here. Now it's watered, but trust me, she went dry many times. I actually did not think she was gonna make it. And then we're just gonna deal with my Hoya microphylla. This is the smallest known Hoya leaf. I have 3 of them only now. I gifted and sold the rest of them. I think I had about 6 or 7. And they have established quite well, though I did have to take the trellis out at one point. It just kept falling over, so we want to put them in a pot with a trellis that is fastened with zip ties. The mix is fine, they're doing well. They did burn a little because these plants do not love to be under grow lights, and I sort of forgot about that they need to be off to the side, so I was the one who burned them. Now, I was hoping to put them in the pots from Susie, but I think I used up all of those pots. Yeah, I only left 2 small ones, and these are way too small for that plant. So we will probably just use these from Temu for that. But to be quite honest, I have not made an exact strategy, plan, etc. We will just take it as we go because I cannot bring everything here. I'm like surrounded by plants. There is very little space here. So let's just begin, and please, ghosts that inhabit my room, help me with the first one. There we go. Hopefully this will be visible. And let's start with my Hoya lambii. Once again, very beautiful and a little bit of a challenge. So we are gonna take this very slowly with her. I did put on my gloves because again, these have been recently treated with systemic. And I don't think she has a massive root here. I think the majority of the roots, unfortunately, is in this matted section. So I'm not at all looking forward to dealing with this. But, you know, it has to be done. She also had very bad mite infestation, so I am actually thinking about chopping some parts of this. Though probably not. I just really hope that we can establish some nice normal growth pattern here. Now, this Hoya, terrible, terrible trelliser. Every time I tried to trellis her, no matter how I put that vine, she stopped growing. So we might actually just chop this vine because it stopped to grow. There's nothing on the end. We will see how we can beautify her. And she still has the peduncle here, but once again, no buds at the current moment. And I will be careful with this sort of new vine. When I got this plant, I was so impressed by her. And once again, Camilla does do a fantastic job growing this, but I didn't grow to hate this plant necessarily, but she's, you know, I'm very, very conflicted if I should give it up because struggles are just not okay, you know? Struggles are not okay. Like this growth here, absolutely ugly. I don't know, I could take a cutting of this and try to grow another plant, and if it grows well, maybe sell it or keep a backup, though I don't think we need a backup. We just need her to be normal, you know? Interestingly, Camilla has a couple of clones of this, and interestingly, even though I'm not doing a good job with this one, do I want more clones? Yeah, I do. I think Doug has bloomed this plant in one of his videos, and if I remember correctly, this does not have a recommendation. He also says this is a very difficult Hoya, not really for a beginner. If you're doing well with Hoya lambii, that's great, congratulations, but just so you know, not necessarily for a beginner. It's not very expensive to get, interestingly, considering how hard it can be to grow. But yeah, we have rooted here a little bit, not too much. Again, I tried to grow this hanging, which Camilla does really well. For me, she ain't gonna hang. She's gonna hang me. Or make me hang myself. But yeah, I do believe like it would be best if I could just let her grow up. In one of those old Hoya forums, someone said that it is really the best to just let her go up. That's the way to grow this plant successfully. And this trellis is really too small for her. But what are we gonna do? We can't, I mean, I could probably get 3 bamboo stakes, make sort of like a tower, and then let her grow up. We'll see. I can't do that now, obviously, but maybe for some future attempt. I am really procrastinating here. I really don't want to do this. Ugh. Yeah. The root system is not amazing. Things are molding. There's also... Ugh. Let's just smell it. Doesn't smell too bad, but yeah, I think this will do much better in a different mix. It's kind of very moss heavy, this mix. And I don't really know what are we gonna do, how we're gonna get rid of all of this. This is also not the highest quality moss, I think. I just used what I had at that time. So let's just remove everything that's nasty, which is a lot of things here. To go back to Doug and his video, which has been uploaded many, many years ago, there is a really quite a significant amount of rot, I would say. This moss has been kept a bit too wet. One of the reasons he says it's maybe perhaps not worth it. Maybe I'm also imagining this, by the way. I don't know. Maybe this is just my conclusion, but this plant only is in bloom for a few hours. So you really kind of have to wait. I somehow in my head I get that it's in bloom for only a couple of hours. So it's not really worth it, right? And it's hard to get to the blooming stage. So we shall be thinking about that. Is this a mushroom? This is a mushroom. Okay, so things are falling apart in this mix. We will try to sort it out. It is also said to be a little bit harder to root. Now, I don't know if this is true. I didn't really struggle rooting this. I just put it in a Ziploc bag with moss. But again, on those old forums, some people have struggled quite a lot to root this. And I don't know if you have ever rooted Hoya lambii, do let me know. It's going to be hard to not damage these roots. I'm going to try my best. I might need to take her to the shower to get this moss a little bit, or actually I have a sprayer someplace. So let's just get that moist and try to get out as much of this old mix as possible. Hopefully she lives. We just need to take it slowly. Compared to my other video, which I uploaded last time, where I wasn't very gentle and I didn't take it slowly, I will actually try to be nicer this time. That video actually did really well. The video for the Ratsta tanked, absolutely tanked. No one watched that video, but the last one was one of my best performing videos in a while. So thank you for that. Thank you for joining me on these chores. Let's talk about my collection. I know I made a video last year about downsizing a little bit earlier than now. I think maybe or maybe it was in December of last year, I don't really know. And I was called out when I was on the podcast, Let's Talk About Hoya. I think it was Lydia who said this. You know, you make a downsizing video and then, you know, next video is I got 50 new Hoyas, right? So yeah, that's true. That's me. Totally the vibes here. So I think what we really need to do in the 2025 is downsize, obviously, because there are too many plants that I don't want to grow. There are too many Hoyas I don't really need to be growing. I sort of find the space for them in my collection, you know, hanging up all those Finlaysoni types so they don't take up the premium space. But the reality is I don't really want to grow them. And I was talking with my friend Julie Kennedy as well just recently after that last video, how really it's hard to keep a good care of so many plants, of so many Hoyas, like to really stay on top of everything, especially because, you know, Hoyas are just riddled with mites. You know, we really need to get rid of the mites in Hoya collections. And I feel the only way to do that for myself is to stop getting new Hoyas all the time, to treat my Hoyas and not to introduce plants very quickly in my collection, but actually, you know, keep them isolated for 6 months or so. And I'm currently obviously not doing that. And, you know, she brought up a very good point, which I do know, but Doug Chamberlain grows only about 100 Hoyas. And, you know, that's the way to grow plants well. And I always get a little bit envious, which I'm going to admit here, when I see other people's plants, other people's Hoyas. And like, I always say, well, yeah, but they have like 30 or 40. And like, no one is stopping you from having 30 or 40 Hoyas, Miro. But I do get very excited, especially like when there are new species, when I get the chance to get something. But I think we really need to keep that excitement in check, not get any of the same plants. I really need to go, for example, for my Lacunosa collection. I don't need to be keeping all of those. I mean, I will obviously keep more than one Lacunosa. Julie said, you know, she only will allow herself one of the species, which is a great way to go about this. And really, really select your favorite, which I cannot do. I'm out of control. But I really need to get rid of some of the Lacunosas as well. You know, in some cases, it is worth to grow more than one clone of a plant. I will say that for sure. But I don't need 10 verticillatas and 20 Hoyas from the Finlaysoni section. I don't need that in my life. So I will try to let go of some of the plants. I've been thinking about just keeping only one tent. I have 3 currently, and this is a very small room, so it's actually quite hard to navigate this space. I don't know how realistic it is. Instead of the tent, I would like some shelves, but most of my Hoyas don't fit on the shelves anymore. They fit on some IKEA metal shelves like Omar. I was thinking about those Visto, whatever, no one cares about those, but they really won't be able to accommodate my Hoya. I was thinking maybe I could get some of those shelves and then remove the sections and only have like the bottom, the middle, and that's it. And then of course the top. But I don't know if you can actually do that. I looked at the instruction and it doesn't seem like you should really be doing that, so probably won't. If you did some hacks with your shelves, with your vizio, whatever, do let me know if it's safe. I would like for us to have more than one angle from which we can record. To be quite honest, I also had intrusive thoughts about building an indoor greenhouse, actual indoor greenhouse, which I don't really have money for, but I saw some really, really nice ones on Instagram, and I have been having intrusive thoughts of doing that on the cheap, because the tents, despite how useful they are, they're also really an eyesore, and I'm kind of not loving that eyesore anymore. I was willing to overlook a lot of things in the past, but now I am less willing. Not completely unwilling, but less willing. There's a lot of damaged roots here, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really think we should have done this sooner. A lot of this moss has really started to break down. This is the issue when you don't use higher quality moss. When you use a lot of moss and you don't repot, it will break down. This is why repots are necessary, and I don't think moss is like a bad thing to use. Everything will break down, even you and I. But, you know, as the moss breaks down, the pH of the mix will become, will go down. It will become more and more and more acidic to a point where it's, well, no longer good for the plants. So we should have done this many moons ago, which we completely knew. This is not a shock. To be quite frank with you, this is not a shock. But we'll try to do our best now to clean these off and to get a nice fresh mix. We might, repot her a couple of times in the next year, because I think I will get her in a pot smaller than this, self-watering, and then, we will upgrade her later. It makes sense to select the best Hoyas and keep growing those, because aside from wanting to try out the new species, what this hobby is also growing the plants that are really nice, right? To grow nice specimens like that Cutis porcellana that will become absolute blooming machines. So not just, constantly get new ones, but actually improving your plant, which I haven't improved a lot of them, right? For example, that hasn't been growing for months and I did nothing about that because I have new plants all the time, and yeah, I just let these fend for themselves with mites and whatever. So that's not really the point, right? The point is also to take care of the plant that you have and make it better and better and better. I actually will make a video for the end of the year to sort of tell you what Hoyas I have selected to get in 2025. Now, it will be absolutely a lie to tell you that's only the plants that I will get. I also think I should set a goal for myself how many plants I will get rid of in 2025. Maybe we can do that in January. Just select a number without thinking too much and try to fulfill that, like say 50. 50 Hoyas need to go. And I know that some people will say, why don't you get rid of orchids or begonias? And because I love them. And a lot of those, even among those, there are some that, I kind of got and I saw how they grow, what they're like. And I like some of them, I love some of them I don't love. But sometimes you just really have to get a plant, see how it is to grow it, see if you will like it in person, because a lot of times we can't see them in person. You just have to buy it and then you get to see it. I mean, you see them in the videos, but a lot of the times when I edit these videos, they really don't shine through in the video. And I think, well, no one will want to get that, but they really should, because it's an absolute gorgeous Hoya to have. I think the first ones to go will be all the Finlaysoni, then the verticillatas. Even though I have grown to like verticillatas quite a lot, I don't have many duplicates, but I think a lot of these crosses, like that EPC 1015, will probably go. Some lacunosas will need to go. Some of the thin-leaved Hoyas that haven't done really well. I told you about that Vitiensis. I have something that's affinity, either Megalantha or Vitiensis, I'm not really sure. And yeah, some that are really struggling. I also read a very, very interesting post in a group that I'm not part of. It's an orchid group. So was this photo of all the tags of the plants that this person has lost. And they said, some of these are my fault, Some of these were sent bad to me, because, you know, people sometimes do be selling trash. Some of them got stressed in shipping and never recovered. But the point of this whole post and the comments was really like the mindfulness of plant growing. And I think it has made me really, really think how I am not mindfully acquiring my plants. You know, it's sort of like sometimes like a rabid dog, just get whatever you can get, right? And get excited over everything. So I think what I will be looking in 2025 when I go through my collection, which again, I will try to make a video on sort of the strategy here, but to kind of, because this is still like, I'm still thinking about the way to approach this, but I think what I will go for is the variety of flower, shape, variety of flower color, see how much the flowers last, and really think about these that bloom very, very infrequently and very, very little. And then we will look at the variety of the leaves as well. And then, of course, the variety of species. So some I will allow duplicates. I'm not going to go hard on no duplicates because that's crazy. Sorry, Julie. Because I definitely need both the white and the yellow Lucky. But, you know, in that video where I dealt with my Lucky, I do have a multiflora that I don't even like. I don't like it. It's just plain. It's right, it's here just to fill some space, you know? That's why it is here. These roots are actually not very good at all. Oh my goodness, I am so shocked in a way that I'm not. I knew they weren't the best, but I just thought they were much better. Makes me think how this plant is even alive. And she keeps growing. These are just really not it, man. These are not it. Thank goodness you can't see them up close, because believe me, they look absolutely disgusting up close. And it's because, again, this was supposed to be done such a long time ago. Oh my goodness, you poor little baby, why haven't you said something? The plant who has been dropping new leaves and attempting to flower and dropping those buds. You haven't said something. I will try to show you the root ball before I start chopping things, just so you can see how terrible it is. See, a lot of the times people don't really know how to judge a good root ball from a bad root ball. And I just need to show you that, like, despite this appearing maybe from afar okay-ish, this is absolutely terrible. I would rate this 3 out of 10. Because, you know, it's useful-ish, but man, is it bad. 3 out of 10. I mean, you can just see how degraded that is. Let me just first of all show you the absolute root ball that looks horrible as soon as my leg wakes up, because we have lost her. Girl has went on a vacation. Please come back. Come back. Come back. Come. I need a whistle like in Titanic. Come back. See, this is absolute pure crap. Crap, 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 crap. Not a root ball I'm proud of. So we will do more work there, but just so you can see this mix, this is absolutely degraded. Degraded. This is honestly, I mean, you know what this would be good? This would be good for begonias in a terrarium, because they use this sort of, is it mold moss? Like this, whatever this is. So I'm just gonna put this mix back into the pot to sort of clean up a little bit. We are trashing this, obviously. Okay, I'm definitely stopping at this point. I'm stopping. We do have to stop at one point. We'll see how this root system recovers. And if I see it's not recovering, I think I will probably take a cutting or just restart the plant. I didn't really clean this off. Like, there are definitely hair-like roots here that need to go. Ideally, I would restart it, but yeah. Maybe what I should do is find a huge see-through self-watering pot, like huge, and then just chop everything into like one-note cuttings and fill the pot with cuttings, and then create a massive problem for myself with the biggest Hoya lambii that ever existed. Please, demon in me, quit giving me bad ideas. Stop it. I'm going to wash my gloves so we don't get anything on the future root. We have two big ones to work with now as well. And I think clean this, because we do want to make sure that we don't get anything nasty on the roots of the Hoya that will follow. Okay, we are back. We are not working with an abundance of battery. That Hoya lambii actually took a lot longer than I imagined it would. Let's do the PNG one. I will clean off some of this sticky stuff with alcohol once I am done. So, girl, you're getting a REPOT. Oh, is that a mealybug? These look deadish. Let's poke them. I'm not loving that I'm seeing the mealybugs at all. And is that the only peduncle? It's the only we have another peduncle here. Guess what? They are on the peduncle. Let's get a needle. I will actually poke these mealybugs to kind of see what's up. They are not looking white. They are looking discolored. So maybe they are dead. And if they are, we shan't be mourning them. Yeah, that one is dead because it's not moving at all. And usually, like, when you do touch them, they do move a bit. So it did work. Okay, let's check on the other peduncle. These look a little bit whiter. Are you alive? It's not moving at all. Poke, poke. We have more on the notes here. This one also doesn't seem to be moving. Nope, this one is alive. You are not running away. Goodbye. I actually did remove all of them last week from this plant with alcohol. I thoroughly cleaned the entire plant. However, they have been breeding like crazy. And I feel this is the end. Oh, we did damage a leaf there. Feel this is the end of them, hopefully. The potting mix is still wet. So there is still obviously systemic in there. However, we will be transferring it now. So, I mean, she did soak up what she soaked up via the roots. I am incredibly happy to see that most of those were goners. She only had one when I treated her. Now she had like 5 or 6. Okay, I don't see anyone else. Some of these are really gorgeous. I think, like, if you look at these vines individually, she's not very pretty, but if you look at them as a part of the whole composition, then she kind of looks nice. There are a couple of Hoyas around her that were actually the main suspects, so I kind of isolated them. So I will check those, or not the main suspects, but like my Vitellina. She had a lot of them, and Vitellina needs to go from my collection, I think. That plant, even though I love the leaves, has never bloomed for me. She is just, you know, she's not supposed to be a difficult plant to grow. Somehow, she has been quite a challenge here. I don't know why, if there's something wrong with that Vitellina, but she hasn't been easy for me. I'm not ashamed to admit it. For whatever reason, she just never really grew well, didn't get very big. Like, some of the leaves are nice, once again, but I don't know. I feel that Vitellina should be a very, very easy, and is a very easy Hoya. But I grew Undulata much better than I grew Vitellina. So let's try to see what those roots look like. I feel this mix is going to be very damp. I don't have a lot of roots coming out, so I'm thinking about just chopping them, but let's see if I can get it out first. Oh, honey, get out. Thank you. Okay, so the roots look good. The roots look good. They're not terrible. I mean, they're not terrible at all. So we will give her a fresh mix. I don't know if I can pick her up. So those are the roots in self-watering pot in cocoa peat and perlite. But I will admit, this is very damp right now. It's just that I don't really love this mix. I let it get too dry as well. I don't hate it, but at the same time, I don't know. Let's just give her a repot, get rid of that mix, upgrade it. It's actually coming off pretty well. And because she's staying in the tent, I just feel she will do even better. Maybe that's like why we're losing some of the baby leaves and The vines are not growing as best. I mean, you can have like a good root system, but the plant doesn't want to be that wet, so it acts up a little bit. After I'm done trimming her, we will see how she looks. I do believe these are 2 cuttings. I think I actually grew this out, took a cutting, grew it a bit again, and then took 2 cuttings of it. We are almost done here. So much easier to remove than moss. I'm actually impressed how good these roots look. I thought they wouldn't look as good, considering how wet I have kept this at some point. Are these 2? Can we separate them? Let's try. They will be easier to handle. Maybe I should just keep 1. Have we ever thought about that, Miro? Keep 1. Especially with big-leaved Hoyas, you really don't need 2 in the pot. But here we are. I think we're gonna do 2. Well, you know, I will be thinking about this one a little bit because the blooms are okay, not too spectacular. That looks good. And then as for those vines, we will be doing some trimming. Should I do it instantly? There are no peduncles, no new leaves seem that they will grow. Let's just do it right away. This one doesn't have any mats, so we're just gonna leave that. And then let's trim it here. Once again, that end looks, this looks good. This, just gonna trim it here. Leave the peduncle on there, but that's it. So we don't have the bare vines. Probably a mite treatment will do her well. I'm going to clean this. We'll see if I have time for one more, which is the glabra uluapinapin or lunch, one of those 2. We have one more big Hoya to go through, and then I think what we will do is start to pot them up, and then the smaller ones we will kind of do as we go. I really wanted to prepare just the big ones because they will go in pots like these with trellises, which I will make off camera. I will zip tie those trellises for the pot because we simply are recording already for way too long, and this video shan't be and can't be 5 hours long. So let's just do this glabra, and I think I'm gonna do her on the same type of a bamboo trellis. Now this one we did not see any mealybugs on. I think actually I will cut this vine too. She did have a peduncle here, but that dropped, so we can shorten that now. Actually, to be quite fair, the peduncle didn't drop. Someone by the name of Miro broke it off. So we will make sure to do this gently, because we do have one more peduncle, which I would like to keep on. So if we could not break more, ideal. That would be ideal. Ooh, hoo, hoo. What's this? Is this a mealybug? I think so. Yeah, I think these wanted to hatch or will hatch. There is that fuzziness here, so I'm just gonna throw that away. I don't see any mealybugs on the plant, so they were probably about to hatch. I was really hoping that in 2025 we shall enter with no mealybugs, but it seems that we will enter with some. So incredibly difficult to get rid of them. I am afraid of breaking this though, so I'm gonna try to put it on the tray and go gently here. I will use clean pots, not these, because I will wash these, but let's just go for something that's already washed. Let's help you out. These roots do look a little bit rotten. So maybe this wasn't the best mix for this plant. They are mostly fine, but there are indications that there is some rot. This one I think was repotted from pon to this, or maybe it was repotted from leca. I can't remember at this point. Yeah, there are definitely more damaged roots here, so we will make sure to clean them off. Though I do see some very good roots on the top here, so we will go gently there. But like in the root ball inside that, those aren't the best roots. So, we are breaking that. let's be gentle. That stem here, this is not good. I twisted that stem and it broke. Let's just hope that I didn't mess that up. Oh my gosh, that's actually bad. That's actually bad, but I will try to just put it all together. I was twisting it, and because this is not moving and it's so heavy, that stem sort of cracked, like the outer layer. It didn't break, but the outer layer cracked. So we will attempt to put it back as if nothing had happened and hope that it heals. I will show you this. Babes, this is not ideal. So these roots look good here too. I heard something move. I really wish the ghosts who haunt me would help out at least. Clean or do something, you know, you're not paying the rent. I think I'm gonna be done here with this plant because I just don't want to mess more of this up. But I will show you how I did mess her up. Okay, so this is the bottom part. You can see how that cracked as I was twisting it. I mean, you can totally see. I'm not gonna show you too much. That's not great. So the stem is connected. It didn't actually break off, but this outer layer did. So I will absolutely just keep it like this. And when I trellis it, I will just reinforce this part. I don't love that this is like this. I think there is a tape in horticulture for these types of things, but I don't have it. I don't like this is an open wound. I feel like mealybugs or mites are gonna just go inside and destroy this. I hate myself. I think I will just use sellotape. I think I will sellotape this shut. Okay, I'm sort of hoping this is decent enough angle here. So I've prepared the pots. This one is for hypolasia. This is for the 3 big ones that we are dealing with. So we have my Hoya mix, very little of it. I will make more. It is bark moss, cocoa husk, and pumice. Very good mix that has been working out really well for me. So I will just put some of that in here. Let's start right away with, well, the one that I can grab the easiest, which is probably going to be my glabra that I sort of destroyed a bit, but hopefully she will recover. I'm sorry, girl. Didn't mean to. So this is essentially the same size of the pot that she was in. It's not really an upgrade there, but it's definitely an upgrade in terms of the mix. I will also probably not use the self-watering function in the next few weeks, just until it's a little bit more established. And then I think we can start. Now my favorite part, I always look forward to this, is the trellising. I will use all new strips. I will fasten this here with, and very tightly I will fasten this with the Velcro, just so we can keep that vine secure so it doesn't break. And now I'm just gonna go around. It's really simple to trellis Hoyas on these. Does it always look good? No. They're kind of longer than I was hoping for. What happened there? What I do like is to kind of wrap them inside and outside to kind of hoop them through, though this is probably going to be a challenge with this Hoya. I don't see this being easy. I also don't like this because this is a real fast way to break something. I feel we need to put her here temporarily. I do have my dragonfly clips, so I'm just going to use that because I need to secure the vines. The vines. She does want to tip over on me, and I do have cover pots which stabilize these. However, none of which are next to me. Oh my goodness. Shh. Quiet. I like that. Where is it? With these big Hoyas, you have to really tighten that Velcro. You can't be super gentle about it because they will slide off of your trellises. So, I mean, I know that like a lot of you know this, but maybe some people don't. I don't know. This would be a good time for some magic. Do we think we can somehow not annoy me? Where does this end? Okay. And then, boom chakalaka. Oh my god, millennial cringe. Do I think I improved the look? No. I don't think I really improved the look of this plant. I think it's an interesting take on what trellising can be. I want this leaf to be strategically placed like so. I just want this to levitate, you know how hard it is. I actually have an idea. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. On the back, I cut a big piece. I actually don't want it to levitate like that. We have not finished repotting though. Now I kind of need to poke around a little bit to make sure that the mix went in all the possible spaces. Actually, you know what? I do think I like it. What I don't like is that we have two even bigger ones. So I guess we will go to Hoya lambii now. And we will make a new mix. I have been sitting in a pile of water and I sensed nothing. We do have a little bit of a mix here. So I think what I will do is I think I will make a mix using some Botanica ingredients. I have their cocoa chips that is buffered. So I mentioned Botanica before in one of my videos. Soon you shall be getting a discount code. So let's just make a mix here. I am realizing that I intend to make one more plant chores video, and I may not have ingredients for one more plant chores video. I will definitely not have ingredients after the new year, so that's good. I'll be using orchid bark from Aqua Genera. Just because it's open, I do have one from Botanica, but I will just keep using this. And then some pumice, also from Aqua. And then just a handful of moss from Botanica. A bit more than a handful. Okay, now let's mix. So I guess I will need to order more ingredients. What I need the most is buffered cocoa husk. So I think I will be ordering myself from Botanica buffered cocoa husk. Because I'm not about buffering life. I just can't. I've tried. Especially now in winter, I'd rather die. I really would. I actually wouldn't, but okay. You know, one has to be dramatic. I will put the cover pot right away because it does give me stability. A little bit of the mix. That moss is actually looking so hot. So what shall we do? Certainly these roots have not improved. Let's just start and hopefully these roots recover. I did not find a see-through pot for this. It's a bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. I think I will try to hide this. I also think I should have moved this a little bit closer. Upright. Miroslav, why are you like this? Why are you not coordinated? What is happening? I'm sorry that this is not as chill as maybe... Oh no. I heard a crack. Not in a good way. Something has cracked. Maybe it was just like one of those warning crack. You know the warning crack? It's like you're pushing it crack. I'm really talking a lot about crack. I'm gonna be demonetized for the crack. I'm not loving the way that this looks. I'm not loving this. The issue is this was growing up, and this is a very particularly looking Hoya that now, because I'm trying to kind of make it... Was it the leaf that cracked? No one knows. I swear there was another crack. Where are the cracks coming from? Where are the cracks coming from? I don't see any sap, so maybe it's a, you know, I don't know. What's going on? Who's cracking? I literally have no idea what's going on. Listen, this is very ugly. I'm trying to make it prettier. So I just need inspiration. Come on, inspiration, come to me. In all your glamour and cruelty. Maybe this way? I'm pushing it, I know I'm pushing it. Oh my goodness, that's awful. That's actually disgusting, repulsive. No. I think it kind of went down and up. No. Oh, maybe that doesn't look so bad. Let's see. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is very hard. Oh my goodness, this is my biggest trellising challenge. Listen, you're not going to look at this and think beauty, but you will take a look at this and say, wow, that was a choice. And yes, a choice it was. For a better tomorrow, we might need to look a little bit ugly today. Oh my God. I feel like we're getting somewhere now. See, all along I knew exactly what was happening here. All along. I knew exactly what I was doing here. Well, eventually one day you might look good. It's certainly not today. You know what's gonna happen now? Hoya police will come and put me in prison. Listen, I think how we started, this is not the worst. I think how we started, this is pretty decent. This has taken many awfully concerning cracks. So we will just move. It's good. I think that's amazing. A lot of cracking. Woo. We have one more, and my leg is just not present. Did I poke a hole? This was like poking me this entire time. I honestly don't think I'm gonna do microfila now. I just give up. I am really stressed from that Hoya. I think I will take a break, and I would like to be done. That was stressful. I will definitely repot 3 more after this one. I have hypolasia, Isabelchinae, and devoensis. We have prepared pots for those. Okay, let's grab this one. I will immediately put this up, because I can already see it's going to be in our way, even though there's no mix in the pot. There is barely any room. Okay. The other side needs to be fastened instantly right away. Sometimes it does help to, start the trellising. Let's just put the mix. You can also, you can trellis a plant and put the mix in the end. There's no rule saying you can't. We need to make another batch of the mix. I think we have more than enough mix in there. Let's start trellising. My favorite thing in the world. This is actually so gorgeous. This plant, I love her. You have probably noticed this one was a little bit oddly trellised, and I think that because one of the vine was misbehaving. It's not the most ideal here. I feel that might snap. Maybe if we're gentle, it will be okay. Cute, 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 cute. We made it look cute. We will shower her after this. Oh my gosh, she does look better, doesn't she? I totally think she looks better. And she has the most gorgeous, beautiful leaves. That was easy. I thought that was going to be the hardest. I was wrong. Okay, so this is something that I was really going to mention at the beginning of the video. I did make a mistake with my Hoya hypalasia. That mistake is trying to grow Hoya hypalasia hanging. She does not like that. She absolutely refuses. She will push out vines. They will die back. Hoya hypalasia is just not a plant that you should be growing hanging. I've tried for months. I had her on a trellis before, but for some reason I thought, let's save some space, let's hang her. I think she could look cute. No, she does not look cute. She definitely needs a trellis, and we will give her that. I'm just going to remove some cocoa husk from the top. She isn't cocoa husk, but I'll actually leave this mix because there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, that's it, actually. I'm just going to leave it and put her in the pot. Some of the roots are probably going to be, it's going to be a strange placement, but I really don't want to break up the root ball. And after all, you're an epiphyte. Figure it out. Now, I don't know if I will be very successful at trellising this. Before, when I had Hoya hypalasia on the trellis, I sort of got the impression that she likes to twist around things herself. It's not really that you need to do much work. She will just find her own way, and I think she really, really likes that. I did break something. I hope it wasn't anything important. So, because now she has longer vines, I'm gonna try my best, but I actually think we're not gonna get many leaves. Maybe on the newer vines, I don't know. But she definitely prefers to grow on a support. I mean, I did not get any leaves. Maybe 1 or 2 leaves I got on this, and that's just not normal for this plant. And she doesn't have mites. She is growing, but yeah, she just really needs the support. I should have done this months ago, because I did notice this months ago, and maybe it was even Julie who told me that, yep, she needs a trellis. But I didn't do anything about it. So let's just try to untangle this and sort of see what is the best way to approach a situation. I actually don't think there is a good way. I don't think it's gonna look good at all, but I'm just gonna loosely trellis her. I'm just gonna hoop this vine through here as well, which is not really my preferred thing, but I think it works well for this Hoya. And once she's on a trellis, she should start to grow much better and much faster. May take a little bit of time for her to just grab onto things, but yeah, she's one of those Hoyas that likes to really, really twine around stuff. So we will allow, even though I don't love that growth, I really don't, because when you have to retrellis it, it's hard, plus you really have no influence. They will just do what they want to do. I think a taller trellis is a must, so I will probably extend it. Oh, see, that died back too. Oof. So Hoya hypolasia finally got a trellis that she deserves, and hopefully she will be a nice, fuller plant. Okay, we need to repot 2 more, and those are Isabelle Chanae and Devoensis. I'm just looking at my camera to see if you will be able to see that here. These are also in cocoa husk, so I will also probably not do much. So this is Devoensis. I need to zoom in. This may be a little bit too zoomed in, but hey. So, Devoensis, or this is Megalantha now. We will just take it out. Just very, very loosely remove some of that cocoa husk, what wants to come off, without really trying to get everything off. Just like, you know. Shake the stuff off if it can be. If it can't, it's not gonna make any issue because it's buffered. It's not gonna break down very fast. And I do have cocoa husk in my mix anyway. I will complain about this tomorrow, in 2 weeks or probably something like that. But I'm gonna put her on a small trellis in this small pot. So you can expect complaints. Okay, she fits. Barely, but she fits. So let's just attach her right away before I put the mix in. Just a bit here. Again, this should be much faster, so hopefully she will take off now when I water her regularly. Let's just put that mix. I will tell you something. I do believe that maybe initially in pond they grow faster because of the watering. Because of self-watering. I think they may grow faster in pond in the beginning, but I think long-term these mixes are better. So that's a nice mix for this plant. And we essentially have no concerns of overwatering this, ever. And then Isabelle Chanae. Now that's an acanthostema, which I don't really have a lot of success with. I'm kind of terrible with them, but we'll see. So far, it's good. Can we get that out? Nope. I will just cut that pot, or cup, really. In this case, obviously, it's worth preserving the roots. But sometimes I will definitely cut the roots to save the pot. You know, because some of the pots are actually long-lasting and expensive and really high quality. This isn't one of them. This is a regular plastic cup. This Isabelle Chanae has some nice roots. Now, it probably wouldn't be good, or probably would be better if I just did bark. I will just select parts of the mix that don't really have that much moss in them. Because again, acanthostemas, I don't even know what they want. Tricky little beasts. There we go. Beautiful. We just need to fasten this, and we're done. I think this will look very cute on a trellis. Adorable. All right, everyone, that is all for today. I just got a cramp, painful, and I have rolled around in the mix, so I can just clean up now, you know, change, wash this, wash that, wash myself, water the plants, and I do need to repot those microphyllus there next to me, so I will do that today, but off camera. It will be much quicker. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope there was interesting, useful information sprinkled around the video. I don't know how long this will be, but I think very long. I think I've recorded for like almost 4 hours, so we need to edit this down. And yeah, that is it. I hope you're enjoying your holidays. I hope everyone is safe, cozy, calm vibes, and so on. Let me know if you did any chores in the comments, as always. And that's that. I will see you very soon in next video, which I do think will be another plant chore, but not this. It's going to be pond related. And then we have 2 very interesting videos to just finish off the year, and that is that. So 3 more videos after this, babes. I will see you very soon. Have a wonderful day, and goodbye. One leg goes dead, the other one gets a cramp. Oh, the age. The old age. Is that pumice in my hair? Yes, that is pumice in my hair. Didn't we have some steamy time if there is pumice in my hair, right? I would like to thank all of my patrons for their incredible support. A special thank you to Jonas Barrhjorth-Larsen. Thank you so much for your wonderful Christmas gift. A massive shout out to my $5 patrons, my 2 anonymous patrons, Alex von Siebenthal, Amber Clear, Anne Margaret Moen, Angela Bernard, Angela Parrish, Anna PNC, Aspen Drake, Betsy, Brett Noble, Connie Pagano, Daniela Danube Daniels, Donna Rolls, Deepanjali Rao, Ether W, Erin Keenan, Elena Saxon, Ellen, Farah, Ferdis Verdance, Francis Wilkins, Gathering Moss, Gina Geiset, Gina Radovic, Go Green Tropical, Gross, It's Kyle, Growing Nurse, Hannah Matlin, Heather Uppenkamp, Hoji Scott, HoyaCuttings.com, Yana Griffin, Jessica Chio, Jennifer Martin, Jonas Barrhjorth-Larsen, Joshua Davis Riley, Jovan Denot, Kara, Catherine P, Casey Gross, Kelly Gallagher, Kelso, Kimberly Polka, Kiwi Mochi, Christy Ehrlich, Ellen, Bergley Mooney, Lisa Mary MPLS, Lucas Erchevsky, Mandy Milliken, Marcel Har, Maria Stein, Marina Yarmolich, Morris B, Marty Miller, Mary Rose, Melissa Walker, Michelle Heron, Mirka Grun-Roos, MJW, Moa Edmond, Miss Seidenhar, Nelly Yang, Niha Basu, Nicole Maroney, Nguyen, Nita Macy, Odette, PJ Plan, Druid, Syke Zera, Rachel Peterson, Rebecca C, Sandra Cornelius, Sharon Bone, Sherry Kumar, Sophia Rian, Starla Van Lith, Stephanie H2O, Suvi Cordecongas, Tessa Martins, Thomas Marsden, Tia B, Trista Bailey, Tristan Thomas, Wendy Rossman, Xenia Green, Youth the Walamuth, Zaira Rivera, Zordarama, and Zlakov Niponi. Also, a big thank you to my $3 patrons: Anna Malaya, Karen Kilone Constance, Daryl De Rosario, Eden Corlett, Yana, KPZ, Lindsay N, Mary H, Monica Wykers, Nella, Nerdy Kathy, Renee Church, Ringlov, Sheila Casper, Tangwa Tanasriakul, VH, and Wendy Foreman. And a thank you to my $1 patrons: 1 anonymous patron, Alice Borland, Andre G, Aquila, Brandon Pacheco, Catherine Molina, Couture Helvetica, Emilia Bronson, Jolie Sullivan, Kayla Vavra, Kelly Ash, Chris Perez, Laura E. Jackson, Lauren at Tugboat Plants, Lori N. Subramaniam, Luzmin Fernandez, Marga FV, Mary Diamond, Neely Spicer, Olivia Chin Mueller, Pacific Northwest Plant Lady, and Tracy the Eyebeller.